guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be telling you 5 basic things every language learner should know. Whether you're a beginner or an intermediate, you should know these points. In this video is not for people who are comfortable with just knowing the basic words in their language journey. I'm talking about hello, hi, bye, how are you, and phrases like that. This video is basically for those who want to go further into their language journey. I'm talking, you want to be able to speak in a conversation. You want to be able to express what you're feeling at a particular moment. You want to be able to converse with the native speaker. So the first tip I would say is always be language curious. What do I mean by language curiosity? You are studying a particular language. For example, you're studying Korean. Now, you want to be able to be curious as to what you hear from native speakers or anybody learning the same language as you are. You watch a video of somebody speaking Korean and you are able to decipher 70% of what that person is saying. Now, do not be contented with 70%. Whatever new word you hear, whatever new phrase you hear, you should on your own try using your translator apps or whatever apps you can use to know what exactly this person said. Always strive to know more outside what you already know. That is what language curiosity is. The second point is to put in the work. It's not about how long you study, it's about how many times you study. What this means simply is you could study for 5 hours today and do not study till 2 weeks later or a week later. Now, you can study for 30 minutes a day and study every day. The latter is more productive. So you should put in the work, put in the hours, set aside the time. Always give yourself a study plan, a study timetable, and always try to stick to your study plan. You should always begin studying any language with a study plan as to what topics to begin studying with, what channels to begin studying with, and also what method to begin studying with. Third point is to plan strategically. When you create a good study plan, it helps you become more organized and coordinated because you already know what you're studying for this week, what you're supposed to be studying next week. Now, what does a study plan mean? As a beginner who has absolutely no idea of how to start or where to start learning a language, you might want to research topics for beginners on your target language. Let's take, for example, you're going into the Korean language. The first thing you might want to learn is Hangul, the Korean characters. So you plan your study plan, you're using this week or whatever number of weeks is necessary for you to study Hangul. Now, you know, after Hangul, your next point of attraction should be the sentence structures or learning the numbers or learning the weeks, and then proceed on to learning phrases and also how to make your own sentences. I always recommend beginners to use YouTube channels that teach you these things because personally, I think websites and applications were not really effective as to YouTube videos, because when I'm watching maybe a native speaker teach this language, I feel like I'm in a classroom and I feel like this person is talking to me directly. But when I'm studying with websites, I also get it, but I don't get it as much as when I'm watching a YouTube tutorial on maybe how to make sentences in Korean or how to say the dates in German, whatever language I'm studying. The fourth point here is to practice. It is not enough to just learn these languages written down on your book or in your journals or your jotters. You have to practice speaking, because why is it easier for people to understand when somebody is speaking, say, Korean, but they themselves cannot actually speak Korean? That is because it is much easier to understand what somebody is saying than for you to actually speak it yourself. So as you're learning your target language, please endeavor that you also practice speaking out loud. If you don't have native friends to practice with, you can always communicate with yourself what you're feeling at that particular moment, and also basically everything you say in a day. For example, in English, you say these phrases every day. I'm hungry, I'm angry, I'm busy, or goodbye, nice to meet you. You have to know these basic phrases, so whenever you go out and maybe you need to say some things in English, You can just switch it up and say it's whatever language you're learning. What I'm trying to say is you should get acquainted with words you use every day in English. You should try to know their equivalents or their meanings in your study language. Remember, if you don't have a native speaker friend to communicate with, you can always communicate with yourself when you're alone. It might sound crazy to others because you're speaking to yourself, but it builds your confidence to when you get into an actual real conversations. Because now when you've practiced speaking, you can actually talk to other people the same way you've been talking to yourself, the same way you've been practicing out loud. And that is how you can actually get to hold a conversation in your target language. Finally, guys, as a language learner, you should not go a full day, 24 hours without saying something or some things in your target language. What I mean is you're studying Spanish. The whole day you go just speaking English. It is not helpful to you as a language learner. English, you should mix it up with a number of times. You casually or interchangeably speak your target language. So guys, I hope this was really helpful because these are some of the points that helped me as a beginner in learning foreign languages. Now let me know in the comment section what other questions you might have, and I'll make sure to put it in my next video. Please make sure to subscribe, like this video, and share for more contents. So I'll see you in my next video. Annyeong!